Coming up on this episode of Hit the Sled, Josh Harris makes the inevitable decision to fire Ron Rivera. It's a new era coming to the Washington Commanders. Next on Hit the Sled. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Eve coming to y'all with another episode of Hit the Sled. Before we get started on this episode, hey, follow me. I'm on YouTube, in my YouTube channel, Hit the Sled. Not only am I on YouTube, but I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. Hey, I'm everywhere. Man, I truly appreciate everybody who watches these videos. Man, leave a comment. Hit the like button. I truly appreciate y'all. That being said, as we get into this new episode of Hit the Sled, man, I'm excited about the news about Josh Harris moving on from the old Snyder regime and moving on to the new era in the Washington Redskins / Commanders. If you don't know, Josh Harris moved on from Ron Rivera. At about 8:20 this morning, we saw the news that Ron Rivera has been let go by Josh Harris. Man, it was something that we all knew was coming, but it was something that also we didn't, until you saw it, you kind of like, okay, it's going to happen. But until it finally happened, you're like, okay, we're there. We're there. The transition now is finally here. This is Josh Harris's team. And he made it abundantly clear today by firing Ron Rivera. Now, some of the things that happened to me that was kind of shocking. The first thing, he didn't let go of all the coaches. He didn't let go of everybody. He did keep the assistant coaches, and he said that during his press conference today because of the transition. He wanted to make sure that the football stuff continues to go on, keep going. So the coaches were held on to, as along with the general managers. The general manager, Monty Mayhew, a former Redskin, he was kept on board for right now, and also Marty Herney, who's president of football operations, hired by Ron Rivera. Those two men were kept on, and the business of the football process is going to continue until they find a general manager. One of the things that was shocking to me today was also he hired Bob Myers, the former GM of the Golden State Warriors. Bob Myers, who everyone who follows sports knows who he is. He's the former GM, like I said, of the Golden State Warriors. He's a 2-time Executive of the Year for the Warriors, and he's a 4-time NBA champion. He played at UCLA, and also he won a national championship at UCLA in '95. I remember that vividly too. I remember Bob Myers on that team. I remember that, man. Jim Herrick was the coach. Ed O'Bannon, Toby Bailey, Bob Myers, and that crew, man. I remember UCLA. They were a good team too, man. Won the national championship. And not only did he stop there, he also brought in Rick Spielman. Rick Spielman, a former NFL executive, been an NFL executive in the league for over 30 years. And he also brought him on board. And those two guys are going to help him. Those two men are going to help him find the next executive to lead our president of football operations. Bob Myers' expertise is going to be also in the structure. Bob Myers knows how to build a great front office. He knows the people. He knows how to go about doing it. And not only that, he understands the business side of it as well. Meaning that Bob Myers was a former agent. People don't know that. He was a former agent for Arm Teller. He was a top associate for Arm Teller in regard to basketball. Bob Myers was an agent for over 12 years when he was with the Washington Media Group, which is a big media sports management company in Los Angeles. He was the agent for a couple top players. He was the agent for Brandon Roy. If you remember Brandon Roy, the former Portland Trail Blazer, who was great until his knees gave out on him. So I didn't even know about that. Bob Myers was the agent for Brandon Roy. Also, he was the agent for Tyreek Evans. You remember Tyreek Evans? He was in the league probably about 10 years. He did a good job. He was a good player. He played for the Kings for a while, Sacramento. He did a good job. And also, I didn't know he was the agent for Kendrick Perkins. Big Perk. He was the agent for Big Perk. And he did outstanding job, man. So seeing all of that, that was really, really awesome to see that Josh Harris thinks outside the box. He's an innovative. It looks like he's trying to do different things to make sure that he can keep this thing going. So I'm really excited about the hires. I'm excited about what he did. I'm excited about that because we need something different. One thing I'm learning about Josh Harris is that he knows what he doesn't know. That's one of the most important thing about leadership. You have to know what you don't know. There's certain things you're expertise on, and there's certain things that you're not. And the things that you don't know, you hire people. You bring people in to give you the necessary information to make the right decision. That's what leadership is about. Leadership is about picking the right people that assist you to be able to do the things you need to do to be successful. And that's what Josh Harris is doing. And I'm totally for that. And bringing in Rick Spielman. Rick Spielman, he built those Minnesota Vikings team. They were never super. They came close to one year when Brett Favre was there as quarterback. They played the Saints in the NFC Championship game, and they didn't get it done, man. That's the Bounty Gate stuff, and the Saints went on to win the Super Bowl that year. But he did build that team, and I just thought he did a tremendous. He was a good GM. He was a good GM, so he's an expert. And one of the things Josh Harris said, those two guys are just going to help him. Like I said earlier, they're going to help him. Bob Myers is not going to be part of no X and O's, and he's not doing nothing like that. And that's stuff that Josh Harris said during his press conference this afternoon. He said that Bob Myers will be reporting to him, and he's not going to be making X and O's decision. He's a basketball guy. He's not going to do that. So I think it was awesome. And one of the things I don't know if people have been talking about is the mere fact that Josh Harris obviously had been talking to Bob Myers about this for a while, and Rick Spielman. And not once did it leak out. In this day and age when media, guys report stuff from everywhere, not one time did this leak out. That tells you something. That tells you right there that he knows what he's doing. He knows how to talk to the right people. And for me, that's important because when you're making big decisions, it shouldn't be in the media. And this was a big decision. Nobody knew about it until it was time for them to report it. That's important. That tells me that the stuff that goes on in Ashburn that used to go on when we used to know everything that's going on down there in Loudoun County, that ain't happening no more. So for me, that was great to see. And also, the way he was able to present himself today in the press conference, when was the last time we saw Snyder do something like that? He took accountability. He took accountability when it's needed, but also he projected to the future. And which one of the things he said, he explained how he envisions the front office to be. He said that he would rather have the front office be a president of a president of football operations and a head coach. Because he believes the president of football operation is an 80-hour work job, 80-hour work week job. A football coach is an 80-hour work week job. He believes one person can't do it. Compared to Snyder, who had Ron Rivera, who, let me say this, was a good man. Ron Rivera was a good man. He was a good dude. All the players talk highly of him. And even from the out, I've never met Ron Rivera in my life. But when you could see him from the outside looking in, you could say Ron Rivera is a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. But let's be honest. His tenure as the Washington football team / Washington Commanders coach was a disaster. It was awful. He was a fade, football-wise. This year was one of the worst Redskins / Commanders teams ever. Ever. So while we respect him as a man, but speaking just on football, because that's what one thing about Hit the Sled, when I criticize people, is about what they do, not who they are. And him as a head football coach, that team was poor. I went to games, and it was poor. It was terrible. It was terrible. So for me, moving on from him was the right decision. And now Josh Harris is saying that he wants the process of finding the next president of football operations to be fast and thorough, which to me is a great thing. Thorough meaning that they're gonna leave no stone unturned. They're gonna reach out to people, and to me, they're gonna reach out to different candidates for the GM and the head coaching position, which is something that they've already been doing. As I'm doing this podcast right now, it looks like they reached out to Raheem Morris, the former defensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They also reach out to Anthony Weaver, a coach for the Baltimore Ravens. They reach out to Ben Johnson, the OC, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, Detroit Lions. Also, they reach out to Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And last but not least, Mike McDonald. They reached out to Mike McDonald for interviews, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. If you notice, all these guys that I mentioned are young guys. There are young guys. I don't see no Belichick name on there. Now, Belichick is still the coach for the Patriots. I understand that. But the rumor about Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, he's saying that Josh Harrison is enamored by Bill Belichick. Everybody that I've been reading are saying that's not true. They shooting it down. So I don't know where Mike. Hey, he's saying it. He reporting it. He must got it from somewhere. So but those are the coaches for right now. Bill Belichick is still under contract with the Patriots. No decision has been made on Bill Belichick. They probably going through it, talking about it right now with Bob Kraft, and that's on them. That's perfectly fine. So they need to handle that. As far as to be honest with you, I really don't want them to hire Bill Belichick as the head coach. I would prefer them not doing that. So for me, I would leave it at that. The next thing I would talk about is the GM. The GM position. They reached out to several candidates. They reached out to a gentleman by the name of Ian Cunningham. If you remember, I talked about Ian Cunningham a couple pods ago, a couple weeks ago, talking about how when Josh Harris was part of that minority executive committee, I believe it was in Chicago, Ian Cunningham was one of the people they say that stand out. And he was one of the first people to be asked to interview. They requested an interview too. They asked him for him to come and interview. He was one of the guys. Another one is a gentleman by the name of Glenn Cook with Cleveland. Adam Peters with San Francisco with the 49ers. Adam Peters is a guy, if you've been paying attention, everybody thinks highly of. He even turned down interview requests from other teams last year, but he's willing to interview now for the Commanders. Another gentleman with Kansas City, Mike Gozzoni and Alex Halby. Excuse me, I'm pronouncing it. I understand I'm pronouncing their names incorrectly, man. I understand how that feel, man. Somebody named Ibrahim. Hey, I used to get my name butchered. Abraham. Nobody could get my name right, man. So I understand. So, but one of the things I'm saying, one of the things I want to point out, 4 out of these 5 gentlemen that so far we know that's going to be interviewed coming from winning teams. Cleveland, San Francisco, Kansas City, and Philly. These are upper echelon people. These are people in winning organizations. These are the type of people you need to talk to. These are the people you need to see whether or not they can lead your organization football wise. These are the people right there that you need. And I think it's a tremendous. I think it's great. These are the people that won interview for the Redskins when Snyder was the coach. They won't do it. Snyder would ask, they said, "Nah, I'm good. I ain't going over there." They turned down Redskin money. They ain't want no parts of it. No parts. They said, "Nah, I'm good. I ain't working for Snyder." But now that has changed. That has changed. So now we man, listen. Believe it or not, the Redskins are top notch. Redskins, people want to come to the Redskins / Commanders. People want to work down Ashburn, down in Loudoun County. People want to join the work for Josh Harris, Mitchell Rails, and Magic. They want to do it. They say the Redskins are a destination place. Man, we got the number 2 pick in the draft. If the Bears don't trade K, we liable to get. If the Bears don't trade Justin Fields, we liable to get Caleb Williams. If the Bears do pick Caleb, we can get the second best quarterback, Drake May, out of Carolina. Man, we in position, man, we can do whatever we want. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, we right there. Man, this thing is getting ready to change real quick. Real quick. What I'm trying to tell y'all is we are ways away from the Cowboys. Cowboys beat us down yesterday. But we are not, we can build, if the Eagles can build that thing fast like that, we can do the same thing. But you got to have the right people. You got to have the right people that can be able to make the right decisions. And that's where you need Bob Myers and Rick Spielman. They can help Josh Harris make the right decision. You see, one thing, again, about leadership, like I said, you got to know what you don't know. You got to know your limitations. Josh Harris is the first-time NFL head coach. He's been an NBA coach, NBA owner for years. Josh Harris is the first-time owner, I should say, excuse me. This is his first year owning an NFL team. He does not know everything. So guess what he do? He know I don't know everything. He said, I'm going to go hire somebody. He said, I'm going to go hire somebody that can help me. Rick Spielman. Put this thing together. Bob Myers, how it's supposed to be looking, a championship environment. Man, I like it, man. I like it. I really do. This thing, hey, I'm trying to tell you, man, the Redskins / Commanders are on the way. We on our way. We back on our way to prominence. We really are, man. We really are, man. So as I sit here and look at it, as I give y'all this information on Hit the Sled, man, we're going to be coming full bore with Redskin news. Every time we get the news, we're going to come to y'all. We're going to be the place to be. We coming. Man, listen, this thing right here is getting ready to get big. The Redskins / Commanders getting ready to get big. The Hit the Sled about getting ready to get big. I'm trying to tell y'all, this thing is getting ready to get, man, the Redskins are on their way. They are on their way. But also, we as fans got to be patient a little bit too now. We can't get too overboard. They going in the right direction. I can see it. They going in the right direction. They doing the right thing. It's just the little things. They doing it right for the first time since Old Man Jack and Cook was alive. Is when he owned the team and run the team. For the first time, it's back to those type of days. It's going to come back quick, y'all. It's going to come back. I'm trying to tell you, man. But we're going to be giving y'all more and more information on Hit the Sled. Stay with me. Hit the Sled. Hey, man, we coming. We're going to be giving more information. Follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. We coming. Man, I thank you. I appreciate y'all watching these videos, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Hey, listen here. I truly leave a comment. Thank you, y'all. Hit the Sled. We coming.